Today we are talking about who influences our self-worth and how we can have more personal influence on that. Welcome back to your Emotional Support Podcast. I am your host, Noelle Rizio, and today we are talking about who shapes our self-worth and whether the voice in our head really belongs to us, and how, if it doesn't, how we can kind of take that back. Okay, so let's start. We're talking about like childhood beliefs, cultural expectations, religious messages, the journey of asking, do I still believe this, or was I just told to? But it's about like personal freedom and personal choice and being able to take ownership of our own self-worth, instead of just relying on other influences and other people to impact it. So let's jump in. So what shapes our self-worth? From the moment we're born, we're absorbing messages, right? Spoken, unspoken. We are born into a family and we just automatically take on a whole bunch of things, right? Their beliefs, their values, their morals, the norms in the family, just like the cultures, the traditions, all of that stuff. We have family, we have religion, we have school, we have media, we have, pop culture. So many voices telling us who we should be and how we should act and what makes us good enough and what is quote unquote bad. Okay, like I'm just trying to think of like a few examples of like, growing up and the things that we hear, especially as women. Girls don't talk back. Success looks good this way. Like you have to go to college. I think a lot of people hear that, or at least we did, back in the 90s. You have to go to college if you're going to be successful. You're valuable when you're selfless, when you give of yourself. Doubt means you're doing something wrong. Okay, all of these are things that people say or that we hear that make us kind of form our idea of our worth. Okay, so why don't we question these messages? Why do we just kind of walk blindly into the abyss of whatever these things or people or messages are telling us? So, sometimes we just have blind belief. We just live by rules that we didn't choose. They chose us. Like I said, we're kind of born into a family. We're born into different ideas and ideals, and we just don't question it because that's the way that it's always been, right? And I'm not saying that you have to, but I'm saying like if there's anything that doesn't feel good or doesn't feel right, maybe you should question it. And maybe you question it and realize, okay, yeah, this is the way that I feel or whatever. But if we're not questioning it, then we're not taking responsibility for how we feel about it. So when we question these messages, then it creates conditional. Wait, let me make sure I said that right. When we don't question these messages, it creates conditional self-worth, right? So if we're just blindly believing whatever we're believing, then I'm only good enough if I'm following these rules that were prescribed, okay? Prescribed meaning before me, right? These rules were set down in stone or on paper or in the minds of others before I even came about. So why am I only good if I follow these rules that were made up before I even existed? Okay? That creates a problem. Because are these rules for me? Are these rules the rules and beliefs and values and things that do make me good, bad, pretty, ugly, all of these labels? Okay? If I'm not questioning it, then I have to follow them or I'm no good. So the problem is that you can never fully relax into who you are because you are following these beliefs that were built by someone else. You start to wonder, like, who am I without these? What do I actually think? Okay? And like I said, just questioning it doesn't mean you're going to like forego everything altogether and you're going to abandon all the beliefs and values and things that have been set forth by other people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to make sure that what you value and believe and all of those things is aligned with those things that were prescribed. And maybe they are, and that's wonderful. But if they're not, then is that the best life that you're living? And are you able to live your true authentic self and really live with who you are and who you want to be and feel good about who you are and who you want to be? So you don't have to burn it all down to rebuild something true, okay? You do have to stop pretending that it all fits, though, okay? It might not all fit, and that's okay. If there is a belief that you have that makes you feel like you are a bad person if you do this, that, or the other, but that's who you are, that's not okay, because you are not a bad person. Believe me, you are not. I am telling you this. We all have worth, okay? And if there's a belief that tells you that you are bad because of who you are, then that is something that you should be questioning. Okay, so how do we find what is actually ours? How do we build our own worth from within instead of relying on these external messages and these outward ideas? Okay, so how do we spot an idea or a belief that isn't serving you? Okay, this is how you spot it. You feel guilt, not growth. Okay, if something is making you feel guilt and not making you feel like you're growing, then that is not serving you. If you feel like it's boxing you in and not allowing you to expand, then that is not serving you. If you feel shame instead of inspiration, that is not serving you. So here are some questions that you can ask. Does this align with the person I want to be? Okay? If it does, fabulous. If it doesn't, how can we fix that? Okay? Another question, did I choose this or was I raised on this? Okay? And if you were raised on it, then would I choose this if I wasn't raised on this? And then another question, if no one expected this of me, would I still believe it? Okay? So if my parents didn't expect this of me, would it still be a part of my life? Or if my grandparents or, my sister or whoever, if they didn't expect this of me, would it be something that I would still value or believe? It's okay to outgrow things that once fit very well, right? Clothes, shoes, all those things. We grow, we change, right? We can do that in our values and our beliefs and our systems as well. We can grow and we can change. It's not rebellion, it's evolution. Okay? We're evolving and we are growing into ourselves, and we can question some of those things that we may have believed all along the way. Okay? I mean, there are a lot of people that just have blind faith and that works for them. Fabulous. Okay, it doesn't work for all of us. I need to know that what I believe in is what is best for me. Okay? And like I said, I'm not trying to put down anyone's belief systems. I am not saying that one thing is good, bad, or anything. I'm just saying that you need to make sure that your beliefs align with who your true self is. That is all that I'm saying. So we need to start rebuilding our sense of self-worth from the inside out. So our self-worth needs to be grounded in internal truth, because that's much stronger than any external approval. And I've said this from day one. Our sense of self-worth has to come from inside, not what other people are telling us on the outside. So we need to replace those old rules with self-honoring beliefs. Okay? I'm allowed to think differently from my family. You are. Okay? You don't have to, but you are allowed to. It's okay. My value is not based on conformity. Okay? It is not your value if you only value it because everyone else does or because you are told to. Then it doesn't count as your value. Doubt is not weakness. It's part of growth. Okay? When we're questioning these things, that does not make us weak. That does not make us less than. It means that we are looking for ways to grow. And questioning something, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Okay? Choose beliefs that are kind, that are flexible, and that align with your truth. Okay? So to wrap all of this up, you are not bad for asking questions. You are brave. You are growing. Okay, so this week's challenge, notice one belief that you carry and question it. Where did this come from? Okay, ask yourself, does this lift me up or does this keep me small? And try if it keeps you small, if it's not something that you remember choosing, actively choosing, maybe try replacing it with something that you believe now. Okay, and it can be something small. It can be something that you have believed about yourself. Okay, I believed that I did not like tomatoes for the longest time. Okay, and then I tried them again and I actually like them. Okay, I know that's a silly example, but I don't ever remember trying tomatoes before. I think somebody just told me oh, you don't like tomatoes, and I believed it because they just seemed yucky. Okay, so I tried them again and I do like them. I don't love them. I wouldn't pop a whole cherry tomato and squish it in my mouth. That sounds absolutely awful. But I will dice up a little tomato and throw it in a salad or something. Okay, so we can question these things. Even if it's something that we've believed our whole lives, if you've never questioned it, first of all, why have you never questioned it? And second of all, now is the time to start, okay? So, this week's tip that you did not ask for but definitely need, self-worth is not about being who you were told to be. It's about becoming who you truly are, okay? Because you are amazing. And next week, we are talking about our environment, and how our environment affects our self-worth and how we can kind of shape our environment to work for us. Okay? I will see you next week, and I hope you have a great week. I am so glad you're here.